Hi, I'm Randy Christian with the Essential Faith Project, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about a question that unfortunately many people have asked as they try to become part of a local congregation. What do I do if I don't fit in? And the fact is that we don't always feel like we fit in. So we have to be very careful about this and understand if this place where I am uniting with other people is a church, meaning a congregation of people who belong to Jesus, I do fit in. Okay? That is a spiritual truth that transcends how I feel. So then we have to deal with how I feel and why I'm feeling it, not with do I or don't I. I have to accept by faith that I do fit in as much as anybody else does. Now, if that's the case, then why don't I feel that way? And honestly, there's two sources of the problem. One is the church itself. Maybe that local congregation simply isn't open to people like me because they've sort of narrowed their focus. We need to understand that for decades, the American church has been told, or particularly leaders in the American church, that the best way to build a church is what's called the homogeneous unit principle. And what this means basically is you reach out to people who are like you. You reach people like you. Like reaches like. So this is why we have in, for example, Orange County, California, very, very ethnically diverse area. We have white churches. We have Hispanic churches. We have brown churches, black churches. We have Filipino churches and Korean churches. And it's not just because of language, because many of these are all speaking English. But we've separated ourselves because we bought this principle. It was popularized by two of the largest churches in the country and the founders of those churches, Rick Warren from Saddleback Community and Bill Hybels from Willow Creek Community. And both of these men have since making this cornerstone of how they built these churches, have repented, literally repented, which means they've recognized it was wrong and publicly said, this was wrong, don't do this, don't make the mistake we've made. They actually did that in an interview with Christianity Today a number of years back. So we need to be very careful that we don't perpetuate the problem if we're leaders of churches. And if we're part of a church that is, for example, predominantly one ethnic group, then we need to remember the church isn't about ethnicity or our culture. It's about Christianity, which is its own culture. So that's one way this can happen. But another way is I am the problem if I don't feel I fit in. Maybe I'm like Paul says in 1 Corinthians 12, I'm the ear that says I have to be an eye. And I'm not like everybody else, so I think, well, if I'm not like everybody else, I don't fit in, and then I feel self-conscious, and then I want to leave. The fact of the matter is, maybe they need me more than they need each other because I'm the only ear, and they've got plenty of eyes, and they need some ears. And it's going to be a little uncomfortable for them, the first eye that comes in, but more will come. So I need to be patient and allow the Holy Spirit to build the church. And as that happens, then more and more, I'm going to feel that I belong as much as the other people do. So we've got to be careful about this issue of, is it the church or is it me? And if it's me, then I need to do something myself. So here are some steps to take. First of all, don't think of the church as yours if you're a leader in the church. Matthew 28 says it's to be of all people, all cultures. It is the Lord's, it's not yours. If you're making it just for one culture, you're sinning. That's real. And the Lord is not going to bless you. You may have a lot of seats in the chairs, but that is not the Holy Spirit's measure of success for a church. So you have to be very careful. Second, you can intentionally help people to feel they belong by, number one, saying so. Teach that. Make sure everybody hears it. so that over and over and over, we begin to change our culture and say, no, we belong to Jesus, not to this group, or this group. Second, remove the practices that are biased towards just one. Maybe it's the style of music. Maybe it's the food you serve. Maybe it's attitudes. And we've got to be very careful about that. Remove the things that would separate us and let the unity of the Holy Spirit take control. And then finally, reach out and train your people to reach out to the people who maybe don't look like the majority or who are the ears. Show those people, say to those people, man, we really need you here because we got plenty of eyes, but you're an ear and we need some ears. So we're really glad you're here. And make sure they understand how important they are to you as a body. Now, if it's you that's feeling this way and the problem lies with you, not with the church itself, then first of all, be patient. Give people in the body time to adapt. Second, be honest in your feedback to the leaders. Tell them what's going on. Tell them how you're feeling and ask them for help as you acclimate and become part of their congregation. Third, make sure that you are not excluding yourself. If there's something that maybe you're saying, they don't play the music I want, they don't talk the way I want them to, you've got to be careful not to expect everybody else to become like you. And in some cases, there are actually therapeutic reasons why this is happening. I just don't fit in and I'm never going to fit in. And if that's you, then you need to see somebody that's going to help you deal with the root cause of that so that you can get past that. So talk to one of the church leaders, see a pastoral counselor, see a Christian therapist, but deal with why that's happening. And here's a hint. If that's happening to you over and over, I just don't fit anywhere, that's probably not the congregation. That's probably you. And you need to deal with what's going on inside of you. Finally, make sure that you're joining in wherever you can. Okay, so I don't maybe sing the same music with the same intensity because it's not my thing. But I can serve. So I need to make sure that I'm joining, I'm finding a place to serve. I can build relationships, so I need to make sure I'm connecting with a small group. I need to do those things that I can do. I need to give because Jesus said where my treasure is, that's where my heart's going to be. I need to do the things that are going to help me get rooted and feel like I belong here. If I'm willing to do this and the church is willing, then we're going to overcome this problem of not fitting in. I hope you'll take that challenge because the reality is we all belong to the same King and the same kingdom. We do belong.